deal of speculation. Would the Dallas Cowboys move up? Well, the answer turns out to be yes. They move up one spot. You see the compensation that they offer to the Miami Dolphins to move up to this one spot. So obviously a player the Cowboys identified that they could absolutely not afford to pass up on, and we'll find out who that player is. Here comes the commissioner to announce the Cowboys selection at number 11.
With the 11th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Caleb Downs, defensive back, Ohio State.
Another Ohio State star. He actually was the SEC Freshman of the Year at Alabama in 2023. Transferred when Nick Saban retired, off to Ohio State, where he was a unanimous All-American in both of his seasons, won the Lott Trophy, the Jim Thorpe Award, Mel, and a national championship.
What do the Cowboys need on defense? A culture change, right? They need an alpha coming in there. This team allowed 30 or more points in 9 football games. Jerry Jones is watching his offense, Dak and friends, go up and down the field. Then the opposition's going to go right back and answer every touchdown and keep scoring. They're still scoring against that Cowboy defense. They couldn't stop anybody. This kid is going to tolerate nothing but winning, nothing but working. He's the smartest football player Nick Saban ever coached, because Nick said it, right? You talk about that freshman year. First Alabama freshman to lead the team in tackles in school history. He had 16.3 average per punt return with a touchdown in 2024. He played for 3 different defensive coordinators. This kid may not be Cal Hamilton in terms of being 6'4", 220, but pound for pound, one of the best football players you will ever find. Please say he is an alpha. I thought even at 2 for the Jets it would make sense, because he will change the culture, and nobody on defense needs more than that than the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, coaches always talk about, I can coach you up, but you got to go on the field and play. When you send him on the field, you have a coach on the field. He's got high-level instincts. And what does that mean? That means you don't have to tell him where the play's coming. He can feel it out. He's seen enough football. He can get guys lined up. When you look at a Cowboy defense that needs to get better in a lot of areas, you're going to have your coach in the back end and Caleb Downs, an instinctual playmaker. I'm not concerned about his size. There's some concern about his size and the tackling. I didn't see him miss many tackles, Luke. I think he'll be able to get ball carriers down.
What he's going to bring is just a calming influence, a calming, communicative, playmaking influence in the secondary that they lacked last year. Last year, not only did they get beat physically, they had miscommunications, coverage busts, all that stuff. And look, Mel, you talked about it. Where he comes from, having on him, and that's what he's going to need to do too. Turn that football over.
According to ESPN's draft predictor, there was only a 12% chance that Caleb Downs would be available at number 11, so the Cowboys may have gotten themselves a steal here, and Caleb Downs is standing by now with Laura Marriott Bonvoy. Takes us down to the stage. Laura.
Caleb, you're celebrating this, you're taking it all in, and just moments ago you were on the phone with Jerry Jones. What did he tell you about the Cowboys' plans to use you?
First of all, I just want to say thank God. Without that, none of us would be here. Just thanks for my Savior, Jesus Christ. But it was a great conversation. I honestly couldn't hear him much. I was too excited to listen. So I'm just excited to do what I can do and be committed to the team.
We'll ask Jerry later what he said. Now, your brother Josh is a wide receiver for the Colts. Your dad Gary, a running back in the NFL. How special is it for your family that you now get to carry on this legacy?
Nah, it's an awesome feeling. Honestly, God's blessed us with a lot of favor to be in this situation, and I'm so thankful to be here. And our family, I can't even say enough words about them. There's a lot of love there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So Caleb Downs is a Dallas Cowboy. The Miami Dolphins up next. Mel, it's reasonable to say they need almost everything. We have 30 seconds.
They do.
Where do you go from here?
Well, you got Monroe Freeling and you got Kadyn Proctor, the 2 offensive linemen I was talking about for the Cleveland Browns, still on the board. They could go any direction, but it all begins up front. And you got to give your quarterback, Malik Willis, a fighting chance. So the offensive linemen are there. Proctor and Freeling both available for the Dolphins.
So a new era in Miami, new coaching staff, new leadership, new quarterback, new opportunities, and let's see which player they've chosen as their first pick tonight. Here comes Roger Goodell, pick number 12 tonight for the Dolphins.
With the 12th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Kadyn Proctor, tackle, Alabama.
Well, there he is. And I don't need to tell you, the first thing you notice is the size. He is 6'7", 352 pounds. 3-year starter at left tackle, a freshman, All-American in 2023, All-SEC each of the last 2 years, consensus All-American in 2025.
So you look at Kadyn Proctor, the talent is in abundance. He should be a Pro Bowl player. He should have been a dominant player week in and week out when he was playing at Alabama. First game against Florida State, he struggled. He had some concentration lapses, focus lapses. He allowed a sack, 2 quarterback hits, 3 hurries, and a penalty in that game. Second half of that game against the Seminoles, he had all kinds of problems in that game. He got better as the season went along. I think he qualified somewhat as an underachiever. For all that talent, you got to dominate in college. Kadyn Proctor can be as good as Kadyn Proctor wants to be. If he wants to be a great player in the NFL, he has that talent to be that guy. But at Alabama, there was a few too many missed opportunities and pass protected where he let inferior players beat him. Focus issues in terms of penalties. He's got to figure all that out and become more consistent to realize all that talent and ability that he possesses.
And some of that has to do with his weight. He's got to make sure that he keeps his weight down, because when he's in shape, he can play the left tackle spot and he can play at a high level. Alabama split him out at wide receiver. They put him at running back. They threw him the football. He's a guy as good as he wants to be, but it's all going to be about his motivation. Is he going to be motivated week in and week out to keep his weight down where he can play left tackle against some of the elite rushers in the National Football League?
Exactly. That's what you're betting on. You're betting on the football character developing to the point where he's a self-starter, right? That you don't have to sit there and you don't have to babysit him all the time and say, hey, look, hey, Kadyn, it's in your best interest to make sure that your weight's down, because when it's down, you dominate people. This guy moves people against their will. And that's how, when if you're Jeff Hafley, the new head coach down there, that's what he wants from Malik Willis. He wants an offensive line that he can just turn around and hand the football off and rely on this offensive line. And Kadyn Proctor, he can play all positions, man. You're right. It is all up to him.
Yeah.
You're making a bet on the fact that the maturity will kick in and the importance of the game will be such that he will keep his weight at a manageable level to where he can dominate. Because the only reason why he doesn't dominate in the NFL is because of himself.
Yeah.
Because if he's on, it's over. This dude is a problem.
You see the emotion in his face as he made his way down there to meet with Roger Goodell. The Dolphins, again, starting almost from scratch, and seems like a good place to start with an offensive tackle who figures to have a chance to be a dominant player in front of their new quarterback, Marriott Bonvital, Laura, and Kadyn Proctor.
Kadyn, you just told me I've never cried like that. The emotion that you experience with your family, what is it like for you in letting some of that emotion out?
It's just so surreal, honestly, like having my people around me, they experiencing this shit for the first time. I just don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. I just appreciate the Dolphins for giving me an opportunity to go down there and play. Man, I'm finna go play my ass, I promise you that.
You have said that the O-linemen are the best athletes on the field. Are you going to be campaigning to be catching some passes, maybe running the ball a little bit out there?
Oh, for sure. Coach is giving me a chance. I promise you I'm going to put that ball into that end zone. Promise you that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Kadyn Proctor off the board. The L.A. Rams are on the clock. Ty Simpson is in the green room waiting to hear his name called. Will we have a second quarterback selected tonight? We'll find out as we continue round one of the NFL Draft on ESPN.